Hi, this is Kathy with the Fund, and I'm at the home and farm of Grassway Organics, and here I have in front of me Kay and Wayne Craig and their son Rudy. There you go, Rudy. Hi. And the Craigs are members of the Fund, and they're also Weston A. Price chapter leaders.
Yes, we are.
So they're in the middle of this raw milk revolution here in Wisconsin, and they're one of the family farms that that the Legal Defense Fund is defending. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about what's going on. Kay, do you want to try? Give us a...
Well, we've been working with Pete Kennedy from the Legal Defense Fund pretty actively since last spring, so spring of 2009, when it started where the inspector came into the store to renew our retail license. And they've known we've been selling raw milk since 2004.
Through a farm share.
Through a farm share based on the 2002 ruling that was done by Cheryl Daniels. We've never made a secret of it. They've known about it since then. All the inspectors have. And anyway, to make a long story short, they came in to do the retail license. Everything was fine. Everybody was smiling. They walked away. A week later, we basically got a cease and desist type of letter that stated that they would not renew our retail license because we're selling raw milk. And they enclosed a conditional retail license application that if we signed would promise to never ever sell raw milk again. So we called up Pete Kennedy because we are members of the Legal Defense Fund. And got Pete right away on the phone and spoke to him, and in our name sent the letter back to Cheryl Daniels at the Department of Agriculture. And basically all summer there were letters going back and forth between Pete at the Legal Defense Fund and Cheryl Daniels, the Assistant Legal Counsel at the Department of Agriculture, to try and initially you do try to appease them to see what is the real issue, what's the problem. We were taking money for the milk in the store, although the milk itself was never in the store. And back and forth the letters went all summer, and by the August or September, basically the last letter that came back from Cheryl was, there's absolutely nothing you can do to change what you're doing. You're selling raw milk and we're not going to renew your retail license. Mm. So...
big sigh, right?
Big sigh.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, we had, in working with Pete, talked about filing a lawsuit, because otherwise, if we didn't have a retail license, technically we were concerned that they would be able to shut down the in-store and milk sales.
Well, and apparently that is a gray area of the law too, the retail license, because in speaking with Pete, and we contacted our local attorney that's done our wills and things like that, to ask him about that, because we're open only to members. It's a members-only store, and the farm share is
completely private.
We're completely private.
Oh, okay.
In a sense, like a buyer's club. Mm-hmm. And according to both lawyers, that's a gray area of the law. They said both of them felt that we didn't need a retail license, although the Department of Ag says we do need a retail license. So that is one of the issues of the lawsuit. The other issue the main issue of the lawsuit concerns our raw milk sales, in that we are set up legally. It's tied to the milk license. The store, as an LLC, is the holder of the milk license, and it's the entity that is issuing membership interests
in the milk license.
In the milk license. Granted, Wayne and I are primary membership interest holders. All the other members are secondary. But just like other investments, there are active investors and passive investors. I mean, there's the Department of Ag seems to be reinterpreting the ruling, and they're insisting that the members aren't bona fide.
I see.
And it also seems to go back to a year ago in December, a new food safety administrator was hired. The previous one retired, and the new food safety administrator has totally decided to reinterpret the rules that we had been operating under. So since he came on board, that's when we've started to have trouble here in Wisconsin.
We've discussed it a bit, what the tipping point was.
What the tipping point was.
And we're thinking that was the tipping point. They probably weren't happy, they saw it increasing. Different websites, different books coming out, the Weston Price Foundation. And now they had a new person, and that's what we're thinking, that that
Basically, this person's, I'm going to nip this in the bud.
Yeah, I'm going to make
Yeah.
an impression here.
Make an impression here.
We're going to clean up this.
We're going to
state.
clean up this unethical state.
So, and is this an elected official? Or
No,
is
he's
No.
hired by the Secretary of Agriculture.
it hired by the Secretary of Agriculture? Okay. Well, so then what's been the impact to your farm and to your family?
Well, in a sense that we were chewing on our fingernails to get the lawsuit filed, because we figured we've been doing. They've always known we've sold raw milk, and we've never hidden it, and figured we were probably pretty high up on the. Figured there was a hit list. And we were probably figured we were pretty
top
high
10.
up. We were figuring we were within the top 5 or the top 3 even. So
And we have a local attorney here in Wisconsin that works with the Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund who knows.
who's a member of ours.
Who's a member who knows this.
Cheryl Daniels.
Cheryl Daniels, who's his assistant legal counsel for the.
They're
department.
acquaintances from other.
And she had been conversing back and forth with her, and she said that we were next on the list. So we were. Finally, the lawsuit was filed December 16th.
Okay.
And since then, we found that it probably was
Days away from getting
from
served papers.
And your serve
It's
papers.
called a special summary order, where it's basically has the weight of the court behind it.
Now, I'd like just to make a distinction, a clarification here for people that are seeing this and hearing about the fund for the first time. As a member of the Legal Defense Fund, you paid $125 as a farmer, and then all of these consultations and the filing of the
Are free.
lawsuit are all free.
The value to us is incalculable. Look, even if you take the monetary aspect aside, which of course, as we all know, $125 hardly buys you an hour of a typical lawyer's time.
Yeah,
but every time we call, just about every time I've called Pete, he picks up the phone.
Yes.
I'm not going through channels and knowing that every time I'm talking, it's costing me money. And,
That's right. That's right.
it's-
And you've got somebody that knows this area of law, which is, of course, another.
Exactly. Well, again, we had spoken to our local attorney about the retail license. He doesn't really. He deals with wills, and no, he's
not
just
his area of
that's
expertise.
not his area of expertise. So it is so. It's comforting and reassuring, and to be able to pick up the phone, and talk to a lawyer that's dealing with this in other states that has experience in it.
And we've done a couple of fundraisers because we do realize the cost of these kind of things. So,
We've donated some of our own money.
Thank
and
you.
we actually raised the price of our milk, and then for that first month, that additional price increase went to the.
We put a sign up to our members.
you.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, well, what we're hoping to do in this appeal is to connect people from across the country with what's going on in Wisconsin, because it is the second largest dairy state and the largest
They'll probably be next.
and the largest number of small dairies. So this is where an important place to dig in to really show the support for the raw milk farmers and their consumers. So if you're watching this from California, I know you guys just went through something, but Virginia, Florida, everybody needs to pitch in and to help this family and to help this farm and to help these consumers get by this, let's just call this, it's not a bump in the road. This is a serious challenge to their financial...
Serious roadblock.
Serious roadblock. So thank you very much for your time, and best of luck in all of the things that that are ahead.
Thank you.